The clitoris is pure in purpose. It is the only part of the body designed entirely for pleasure. The clitoris is simply a bundle of nerve endings, 8,000 to be precise. That's a higher concentration of nerve endings than anywhere else in the body. The fingertips, the tongue, the lips included. And twice as many as can be found in the penis. Who needs a handgun when you've got a semi-automatic?
This is how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I mean, I know how it should have happened. In a bath, with salt grains from the Dead Sea, Enya playing, me loving my woman self. I know the story. Vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is only the internalized repression and hatred of the patriarchal culture. It isn't real. Pussies, you nut! I mean, if we'd all grown up in a culture where we were taught that fat thighs were beautiful, we'd all be pounding down milkshakes and donuts, spending our days lying on our backs, thigh expansion. But we didn't grow up in that culture, did we? No. I hated my thighs. And I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who'd looked at it and from that moment on, wished she hadn't. It made me sick. I pitied anyone who had to go down there. In order to survive, I began to pretend that there was something else between my legs. I imagined furniture. Cozy futons with soft cotton comforters, little velvet settees or pretty things, silk handkerchiefs, quilted holders. I got so accustomed to this that I lost all memory of having a vagina. Whenever a man was inside me, I pictured him inside a mink-lined muffler or a Chinese bowl. And then I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I ever met. Thin, tall, nondescript. He wore khaki tan clothes. Bob did not like spicy foods or listen to Prodigy. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer, he spent time in the shade. Bob did not share his thoughts or inner feelings. He wasn't very funny or charismatic or articulate. He wasn't mean or self-involved or unavailable. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up the change that I dropped on the deli floor. When he handed me back my pennies and quarters and his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. I went to bed with him. And that's when the miracle occurred. It turned out that Bob loved vaginas. He loved the way they tasted, the way they smelled, the way they felt. But, most importantly, Bob loved the way they looked. He had to look at them. First time we had sex, he told me he had to see me. I'm right here, Bob. No, you, he said. I need to see you. Turn on the light, I said, thinking he was a weirdo and freaking out in the dark. He turned on the light. Okay, he said. I'm ready. I'm ready to see you. I'm right here, Bob, right here. I need to see what you look like. He began to undress me. What are you doing, Bob? I need to look. But you've seen a red leather couch before, Bob. I know you've seen that. Bob continued, and he wouldn't stop. I wanted to throw up and die. This is awfully intimate, Bob. Can't you just do it? No, he said. It's who you are. I have to look at you. I held my breath. He looked and gasped and smiled and stared and groaned. He got all breathy and his face changed. He didn't look ordinary anymore. He looked like a beautiful, hungry beast. Your You're so beautiful, he said. You're so innocent and deep and elegant and wild. You saw that there? I said. It was like he'd read my palm. Yes, he said, I saw that there, and much, much more. Bob stayed looking for almost an hour. Studying a map, observing the moon, looking into my eyes, but it was my vagina. In the light, I began to watch him looking at me. He was so excited, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get wet and turned on. I began to see myself the way he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious, like a great painting or a waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid. No, he wasn't grossed out. I began to swell and feel proud. I began to love my vagina. And Bob lost himself there. And I was there with him, in my vagina. And we were gone.